Hello there, it's Dr. Brian McKay from Neuropathy at Core Health. I had a very interesting question from a patient just recently, and I thought it was worthy of a podcast because, a lot of times if you've got peripheral neuropathy, one of the main things going on is, that pain that you feel. The question was, why do I feel more pain at night in the hands and the feet? So I'd like to explain why people with peripheral neuropathy have more pain in the hands and feet at night. Basically, I want you to think about this. When you're standing up upright, it's a lot easier for the heart to pump blood to your hands and your feet. Now think about it this way. The hands and feet are called your extremities. The extremities are extremely far from the heart. So if you have this pain at night, think about it. You're laying on your back. You're in a reclining position. Sometimes you might be a side sleeper, you may be a back sleeper, you may be a stomach sleeper. But in any event, when you're laying down, it's a lot harder for you to have adequate blood flow to your extremely far away from your heart. Now, does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, I don't want you to think I pretend to be a genius or base this on loosely, on being vague. But let's go over it. There's an acupuncture chart that's been around for a lot longer than I've been around, and I refer to that. So if you looked up an acupuncture chart online, it's an organ body clock. So what happens is around 10 o'clock at night, the hormones start to shut down, and that's not a big problem. I mean, it's shut down, but they start to repair. This is when you start getting sleepy. The blood flow starts to go to different body parts. Now, from around 11 o'clock till about 1 a.m., the gallbladder is the organ that takes over during sleep. And what happens here is you build red blood cells. It releases bile, and it also affects liver cellular repair at this time frame. So you got about a 2-hour window. Now, from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., you go into deep sleep, and this is when the blood's detoxified, and you're getting in that deep rest. Now, this is the liver time frame. Okay, so you got gallbladder from 11 to 1, 1 to 3 is the liver. Think about how much blood flow. Your liver filters all your blood all day long. This is when it gets its repair. This is when it rebuilds the blood and detoxifies the blood. You got to think about the liver as being a huge, huge filter. So between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., you're going to have a lot of blood flow going to the liver that's not going to the hands or feet. And I think that's a major reason why you're going to have more neuropathy pain at night. Let's go to 3 to 5 a.m. That's when the lungs, you get to deep sleep, but the lungs take over. And this is when the lungs detoxify. You got to think about the lungs breathe in, breathe out all day long. And so that motion will get gunked up, okay, for lack of a better descriptor. And here is where the lungs detoxify. Now, 6 a.m., 5 to 7 a.m., the large intestine, okay? Did you ever notice that sometimes you have to have a bowel movement when you first wake up in the morning? This is the result of where your body is in that time frame on the biological organ clock attributed to acupuncture. From 7 to 9, you have the stomach. 9 to 11, the spleen. 11 to 1 in the afternoon, it's your blood circulation, high energy time of the day. And 2 p.m., 1 to 3 is the small intestine, and 3 to 5 is the bladder. Kidneys 5 to 7, and basically 7 to 9 is the pericardium. If you've got any questions on this organ chart, just look it up online. You'll get a lot more information than I'm giving you. But the idea is, doesn't it make sense? There's only so much blood flow in the body. The body, at certain times repairs itself. And if you're going to repair yourself, you need to have adequate blood flow to do so. So that blood that is taken away from the arms, the hands and the feet, because they're further away from the heart, they're not going to get the same blood intervention. So what you can do is you can understand it a little bit better, but there are ways to work around it. We particularly recommend near infrared light therapy, which is a vasodilator, and the vasodilator opens up blood vessels. When you open up the blood vessels, you're going to have better circulation. Now, I want to make another point here, as far as just to wrap your brain around the blood flow. And uh, what happens is, as we age, the heart is not working as efficiently as it did when we were younger. It's just plain and simple. An old car doesn't work the same as a brand new car. We've come to accept that, but the body's the same way. So your heart is not as efficient. When you're younger, blood flow is fine. You've got, it makes it a lot easier. The liver cleans out easier. The lungs clean out easier. The gallbladder, all that other stuff is a lot easier. Now, as we age, that process just gets more and more difficult, along with other things. But it does make sense to me, and hopefully it makes sense to you, that lack of blood flow to the hands and feet is a major reason why you have increased pain at night when you're trying to get some good sleep, and you're competing with the liver. Or, typically, I notice people do waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. is pretty much that rough time. So if you have any questions about your neuropathy, we are more than happy to answer it. My number is 203-875-0846, 203-875-0846. Neuropathy Occur Health, here to help you with your peripheral neuropathy. Been doing it for many years now. All right, have a great day. Thanks for listening. I hope you learned something valuable.